So some implications of these experiments. You know, climate change, obviously we're all here because we're concerned about it. It's happening now, it's accelerating. And what we found in San Francisco when we thought about this issue, when we lay awake at night being terrified, is that we thought that the overuse of the private vehicle is probably the most impactful place to start working. So that's where we got started. What we also know about people in the US, and I'm sure in many other places, but maybe not so much. Well, the US has a particular issue with this. People don't like dire warnings and prohibitive laws. There's this kind of feeling of like, get off my back and I'll do what I want. So it's really important to kind of present this in a package that's like about choice and lifestyle enhancement and making things more fun or more convenient or more easy or more simple. And so that was a really important principle for us as we moved forward on this project. We think of it as kind of a Trojan horse project where people get all these benefits and then hopefully we're making massive change kind of under the radar. This is a picture of the city I love where I'm raising my children in 2030 with water, with sea levels rising so high that a number of places that I like to go are basically underwater. And this is a really impactful image for me. It's from Google, of course, because they're taking over the world. And to me, this is kind of like the heart of why these innovations are so necessary, why we're all here today, and I just like to put it in every presentation to try to scare everyone. This is actually a quick look at just the way the Bay Area functions. Basically, this is the kind of color-coded map of the annual CO2 generated by automobiles. And then this is a look at the households. So as you can see, the center kind of blue peninsula, which is San Francisco, is the densest part of the Bay Area. It has the lowest amount of CO2 generated by automobiles. And the less dense places out in the suburbs, it's kind of incredible, but a lot of people actually have 2 or 3 hour commutes in the Bay Area. And so there's a massive amount of, obviously, CO2 generated by these households. What's hard in California is that growth patterns don't support transit. They don't support the things that really need to happen to make changes. So we have an incredible challenge ahead of us, and I think it's another reason why it's really important to get the use of the private automobile, you know, in a rational place. San Francisco has adopted greenhouse gas reduction goals, as has California. These are a look at some of them. We talked about driving versus residential density. These are 3 different cities in San Francisco. This is San Francisco's residential density and car ownership. Oops. It's the same as I said before. You know, the denser it is in the city, the less likely it is that a household owns a car. Even if, it doesn't matter if wealth contributes to this or not. Like, rich people who live in really dense neighborhoods tend to own less cars, as do poor people. But San Francisco does have some of the highest transit ridership to work in the region by far. So that's reason for hope. And if you look at that carefully, you'll see that we actually have a pretty amazing difference with the other parts of the Bay Area. We talked about that. We have a terrible municipal transit system in San Francisco, and it's incredibly important that we get it out of traffic. So there's a project going on to get buses into rapid transit lanes, and it seemed like there were some rapid transit lanes in Paris as I was walking around, but also that in some places buses were in traffic and we're having to deal with cars. So it's interesting, just kind of learning lessons from other places. We're implementing some of the stuff that everybody's inspired by in Curitiba and so forth, blah, blah. So this is my last slide. And what we've been doing in San Francisco is really trying to take seriously and begin adaptation planning. I mean, climate change is now inevitable, as scary as it is to say this. This is another look at the city and how it could be impacted by sea level rising. You know, I think one of the projects of kind of taking a look at climate change and how it will affect us and how we can plan for it is that it's really important for us to not panic, although I want to do that, but to try to come up with some of the more innovative ideas that have kind of pushed us forward as a state. I think California has a pretty well-deserved reputation for innovation and for looking to Silicon Valley and other places for kind of getting behind new ideas and excitement around new people and new thoughts. So that's where my hope lies, as well as with our new president. And I'm hopeful that we'll have more productive discussion about all this afternoon. Thanks for your attention, everybody.